This gassy creature will joyfully launch the fetid contents of its stomach to attack. Your other minions would do well to stay a few steps back.
It pukes its farts on you. So classy. Hello everyone and welcome back to PyroFalkon's Let's Play Extravaganza, where it's your Let's Play 2. Today we are continuing War for the Overworld, a game given to me for free by a fan. You can find a link to the game in the video description, and the fan has nothing to do with the developers, but he really enjoys the games. So in the last episode we barely got started, and I'm working a little ahead of the game only because I've run through these tutorials before, since this is my second attempt at recording the series.
Current objectives, you can assign them to the peace band.
Right.
They should be back by now.
Alright, so we basically have everything nice and set up at the moment. I'm gonna burn a couple spells here to make the, oh, I can't do that because he's not in my area.
I'd say the Empire is woefully unprepared.
Oh, that's interesting that...
Once minions are rested, you can leave them to their work or force them to train by dropping them in a barracks.
Gotcha, and I can see where my area is because of what my little goblin friends are doing. So this guy, or lady, person, is going to be within my range very soon. She's not really... Oh, she is attacking. She's a priestess. And now she's bailing. That's okay.
You've got another sin, you devil.
I don't really need to do all these optional things, but it's always fun to go for optional objectives, right? So I can expand our archive a little bit here. I'm going to set up a no-go zone right there. I'm also going to try to take a peek if I even have that spell. I don't have that spell. Why don't I have that spell where I can...
You could at least vocalize it under Lord.
Perception Shrine. One Perception Shrine active, right. Let's see. Where is my perception spell? Maybe the game is just not allowing me to use it right now for some reason. Oh, I have to research it. Ha 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 ha. Alright, let's look a little bit over here. Oh, that's all stone. That is all stone. I can go ahead and disable that. And then we will expand our academy out just a little bit. Yep, that clears that optional objective. So, another thing I like about this game compared to Dungeons is your optional objectives have nothing to do with your progress. And I had that problem with Dungeons where the game basically forced you to run through every stage multiple times in order to get all the objectives, because all the objectives led to a stronger character. So I hated being in this position where I was basically forced to replay stages multiple times, especially because in Dungeons, some stage challenges were mutually exclusive to each other. There was one early on that was something like spend 5,000 gold, and another that said never have more than 200 gold or something to that effect, and it was very difficult to do those at the same time. But they were required to be done at the same... but they both were required to do, so you would have to run through the game that stage multiple times in order to do what you needed to do. It was very obnoxious. So, luckily this game does not have any of that nonsense. And I am enjoying this one much, much more. I very much enjoy this one. So we are going to try to wrap up this mission real quick and then get back to stage 3, which is where I was at when my last recording session completely failed. I was going to say that what was going on with my failed recording session is the very top and bottom of the window was cut off, which was a little strange. It didn't seem to be something that should have happened. It had to do with how I set my recording. How I set my recording options here when I do my show with OBS, and I had to change a setting to make it actually function this time. And this game, a lot of PC games now didn't have what's called the TV safe zone, which is a very thin bar around each edge, kind of a margin where there's nothing in there. Like, you can still see the graphics, but there's no important interface. Whereas with this game, that's not true. There is no TV safe zone. So if you're watching this on a TV, you know what I'm talking about, because if you're watching this on a television, like through... Whoa! Did we just convert all that? Holy crap. Let's see if I can lightning strike this guy. Nope, because it's not my area yet. That's okay. Again, we don't have to really worry about the optional objectives, which makes me happy. So, if you're watching this on a television, like if you're watching this from a YouTube app on one of the consoles, you can't see how much gold I have. You can't see how much mana I have. All of this information at the top is cut off. But, and some games fix that, and some other Let's Players do their videos in such a way that they shrink the screens so you can see it, like the Game Grumps. If you happen to know who the Game Grumps are or watch them, you will see that they always have a TV safe zone around all their videos, which you will not notice if you're watching on a TV, but if you're watching on a computer monitor, you will see that there is this starburst pattern around every video they do, even widescreen videos. I have not done that for... I don't know why. It's an extra step of work I don't want to do, essentially. Plus, it makes the video text look a little funky. So, anyway. Whoa, guess we got that. Okay, time to go. Yeah, we're just converting entire rooms. That's awesome. I did not realize that was a thing. Uh-oh. So now our guys are going to have to deal with this big, beefy bastard. And he's at level 3, I assume, is what those numbers are.
Has reached level 4 and unlocked the blink ability.
Right.
To teleport a short distance.
That's fine. That's not really going to help me at the moment.
More abilities.
Yeah, all my guys are doing pretty well here. I have 4 cultists. Not bad. I can actually see a count on my units. I've got 5 gnarlings and 4 cultists, and then 5 workers as well. I'm about to sneeze. Excuse me. Looks like it's going to get a little sticky. But these early missions are balanced well in the player's favor, since we are still in tutorial land here. We're about to pay out some cash to our minions, but that's no big deal because we are about to win the match. So who gives a crap? Get it, guys. Break that inhibitor. So close. 1,700 hit points. 1,300. 500. 300.
Well done, Underlord.
0.
You're learning much faster this time. It's payday.
I mean, that is true. It is much faster this time.
We've barely even started, and you already have a notch on your belt. Well done, Underlord. But there's no rest for the wicked. 2 inhibitors still stand between us and the mainland. But after your butchery of poor Lord Rusimov, I doubt they'll be as weakly defended.
Fingers crossed that we're going to survive anyway. Complete it in under 10 minutes. My gosh. If I was a completionist, I would try to figure that out. But I am not a completionist, as I have said before.
Progress, Underlord. You'll be back to your old self in no time. Our next target is the citadel of the intransigent dotard, Lord O'Sealand. He's a dim-witted sort, and he seems to like marching his troops into an early grave. I'd say it's time to learn about traps.
Yay, traps. Let's do it. I think one reason I like the narrator better is because I am a person who does not like being sucked up to. It makes me uncomfortable and makes me less likely to trust you. Although I do like positive encouragement. It's kind of a fine line, but I think most people are like that too. Just sycophants make me uncomfortable.
One of the Empire's inhibitors. With its trained garrison, it's virtually impervious to attack. Fortunately for you, their commander, Lord O'Sealand, is a vacuous sort who will throw his troops at your dungeon without strategy or order. I can think of no better time for you to learn how to build defenses for your dungeon.
Good plan.
To do this, you'll first need a foundry.
Yes.
Open the veins of evil and unlock it now.
Well,
Build
before
one
we
now,
do
and
that,
your minions will be happy to create defenses for your dungeon.
once again, before we do that, we're going to set up some basic foodstuffs before we go. 2 bananas here.
Unlock the foundry within the veins of evil. To plan your dungeon, why not use the prophecy spell to clear the fog of war and scout the surrounding terrain?
Good plan.
You have discovered a gateway.
Ooh, that's useful. I was gonna make that a no-go zone, so I'm glad I didn't. Why can't I no-go zone that one? Oh, because it's fog of war, I guess. What if I quickly do that and then quickly do
If
that?
you're short on workers
Aha!
to do your bidding, cast the summon worker spell to create more. However, every worker after your first 5 will lock a portion of mana. If you end up with an excess of workers locking your mana,
Let's go ahead and build a foundry,
you may
because
dismiss them
I know
by
how
dropping them onto
annoying
your
that
dungeon
is.
core. It's all
I'm going to make a
right.
big foundry right
Won't
here.
feel a thing.
It's going to be
You've
a
claimed
lot
the
more than
perception.
3x3.
You'll need an archive and cultists
Uh-oh.
in order to
This is
research
why you
that
need no-go
artifact.
zones.
You've discovered a gold shrine.
I sure
You've
have.
discovered a gold shrine. Tagging it will allow your workers to mine unlimited wealth for your dungeon.
Yes, this is why you
If
set up
your
no-go
coffers are
zones,
full,
because
or if you're afraid of how wealth might change
you need to
you
be
can always
very...
untag
You need to kind of keep control over where your guys go, because it's too easy for them to get a little carried away and run off into nothingness. So by restricting where they go and keeping control over everything, you can, well, keep control over everything. There we go. Alright, so there's that one. We'll set up a food thing. And let's set up a 5x3 here for soldiers. And then we'll need a 3x3 somewhere for an archive, so we can fold all those rooms together. A Chunder.
has entered your dungeon.
Ew.
Attracted by the foundry, this gassy creature will joyfully launch the fetid contents of its stomach to attack. Your other minions would do well to stay a few steps back.
It pukes its farts on you. So classy. So classy. Thank you for demonstrating my point. Alright.
Your minions' needs are not being met, Underlord. Build them the basic rooms they require.
On it. Working on it.
You've got another sin to use,
Let's
Underlord.
prioritize
Open
the
the
workers
veins of
over
evil
here. We'll set
and
up
unlock
our
the Blade Lotus.
relaxation
Your workers
area
can be a
over here.
mindless bunch, and will continue to claim territory until you command them
Yeah,
otherwise.
he's talking about why you use no-go zones.
Impasse.
I wish they were differently colored. Like, I wish the no-go zones were red or something like that, so I could see at a glance. But luckily, the dungeon is different, or is small enough that I can sort of see what's going on. Like, it's not a bad thing.
Simply give it a slap.
Yes,
You can
exactly.
also right-click the impasse icon.
Alright,
to
so
dismiss
there's
all such
a
flags.
4x5, I believe? 3x5, that's fine. So that'll be our bedroom, and then we also need a tavern. So I can disable that flag, and then change it to this one, because we need to get our pigsty going on. This got finished. Let's expand the foundry to a 5x5. There we go. As usual, when I play games like this, I tend to over-engineer the problem, and that is what I'm doing. I am building way more things than I need to build as far as the number of people are concerned. But I'm a boomer, as they say. I tend to take my time with games, but I also tend to, in RTSs anyway, I tend to boom really, really loud. I guess it's more than RTSs, but especially in RTSs. Generally, if we were to ever play a competitive RTS against each other, then all you would have to do is wait for me, or the earlier you attack, the better the chance you have to destroy me, because I never set up rush defense correctly. And I don't know why I'm revealing that information, other than the fact that I never play competitive RTSs, so it probably doesn't matter. Alright, let's get a foundry going. I mean, an archive, rather. And then we also need some defense, and then that will do it for us. I can remove this no-go. And because I also want to see what's along this path, in fact. Okay. It's not bad. Mana recovers very quickly in this game, so I can burn spells pretty quick. Alright, let's add a no-go zone. Man, you have to react fast if you want to put a no-go zone there. Bam. Okay. So let's remove that. It's probably actually overkill. Basically, I want to set up a 5x5... Yeah, like that. That'll be our barracks. And then I can even tell my guys to prioritize this area as well. And that should be just about everything. I still need my archive. Doop-a-doop-a-doo. Done. And I think that's just about everything other than our infinite piggy bank here, which we can go after in just a second. I want to make sure that we get our defense set up first. And I think that's all of the...
A cultist has entered your dungeon.
Yeah, hopefully he's less gassy than our Chunders. A terrible word. It's funny. I mean, terrible in a good way. Chunder makes me think of Jim Sterling, because one of his favorite lines is Chungus, which I don't know what that means. I assume it means a dick, but I don't know if it's an actual thing or if it's just a word he made up, or I don't know its etymology, but whatever. There we go. Alright, so have at it, everybody. Go ahead and I'll clear that one too, and now you guys can do whatever you want to do, and I will start unlocking
Lair
traps.
notice unlocked. A gnarling has entered your dungeon.
So our enemy... Let's see. Our enemy is this way. He always attacks from 3 routes. And we need to start getting ready to defend those routes, but I don't know exactly what direction he's going to come from, is the problem. So, why am I even doing that? I don't need to do that. Just go ahead and claim territory. So, I've got the... I got the Blade Lotus. Oh, do I have to build one? I probably have to build one somewhere. Let us build one... yeah. Let's get rid of that. And let's try to
claimed a gold
scout a little bit here. Alright. We'll add the no-go zone here. And then we'll build a trap right around here. And I found a way to build a very efficient trap in the last episode, or the last recording session as well, so this should be nice and simple. I assume a lot of these unlocks have to do with... Oh yeah, there was even a foundry upgrade one here somewhere. So there's a tech tree and all sorts of neat features like an RTS, so I'm really looking forward to this game. I have another sin, but I guess we buy that one. What does Annex do exactly? Digs out a wall tile or claims a ground tile adjacent to your own territory. Cannot be cast on walls or tiles claimed by it. So I can just...
will dig out a block or claim a ground tile that is adjacent to your own territory.
I gotcha.
However, it cannot be cast upon blocks or tiles claimed by an enemy. Let's hope your vault is brimming, Underlord. It is payday.
There we go. Okay, so now we will build a Blade Locust trap here. And that just sort of triggers the start of everything. We can back up the Blade Locust trap with 2 bombard cannons, and we can start shooting the enemy when they arrive. Which is wonderful. Yeah, claim up to there. I'm going to leave this wall. This sort of restricts our movements, but it restricts the enemy's movements more. Eventually in the scenario, we're going to learn how to build a door, and then I can dig this out and build a door, because it would make sense there. But that will do it for this episode. As always, since this is still only episode 2 of the series, don't forget that we have a Patreon and a PayPal. Donations as little as $1 a month helps keep the lights on in this place, and we are still spending the money that you are paying us directly on required things, rent, electricity, internet costs. We are not spending money on luxuries. Believe me, we don't have enough to spend luxuries on.
When the defense is
So hopefully you guys can donate. But if not, it doesn't matter. You know, we're not holding content hostage. But if you have a spare couple of bucks, kick it our way. We would greatly appreciate it. But this is episode 2, so I'm not going to say that again until the very end, I promise. But that will do it for now. We will activate these traps and start messing with the forces of good in the next one. So thank you all very much for watching, and I will see you tomorrow for another episode